Hello everybody, welcome to Ruby Falcon. Today we're going to be making a roasted red pepper cream sauce with lobster. Now you don't have to use lobster on this, but I do recommend it. It's a wonderfully bright and vibrant sauce that's somehow rich and light at the same time. Let's take a look at what we're going to need to make it, alright? To make my roasted red pepper cream sauce with lobster, you're going to need about 250 grams, that's half a pound, of lobster tail. Now that could be 2 4-ounce lobster tails or 3 3-ounce lobster tails, whatever you can find, it doesn't matter. You're also going to need 3 red bell peppers, 1 shallot, and 4 cloves of garlic. You're going to need about 250 milliliters, that's 1 cup of whipping cream, salt, pepper, basil, dill, oregano, and a bay leaf. Now, this sauce is kind of cooked in 2 parts. There's the preparatory cooking where we roast the red peppers and cook the lobster tails, and then there's the final cook where we bring everything together. Cook the lobster tails by steaming them for 1 minute per ounce or boiling them for 45 seconds per ounce. When you boil something, some of the flavor is naturally leached out of the food into the water, so I recommend steaming them. Since I have 2 4-ounce lobster tails, I'm going to steam them together for 4 minutes total. Once your lobster tails are cooked all the way through, go ahead and remove them and set them on a plate to cool. These will be very hot, so be careful. For all 3 red peppers, cut the stem off, which allows you to stand it upright more easily, and cut the pepper in half. You'll also want to remove the stem and any seeds from your red pepper halves. There's also a tiny little bit on the other end from the stem, so go ahead and trim that out as well. And add your red pepper halves onto a baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Roast your red pepper halves in an oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit until the skin blackens and blisters. While the red peppers are roasting, we can peel the shallot. You do not need to prepare the shallots any more than that. We can also peel the cloves of garlic. Like the shallots, you do not need to prepare the garlic any more than this. I know I said 4 cloves of garlic, but this one is so tiny it basically doesn't count. Alright, the red peppers have been in the oven for about 40 minutes. The skin is blistering and beginning to blacken. It's time to get them out of the oven. There you are. Now, these are going to be quite hot. Let these cool down for a bit. While the red peppers are cooling, you can prepare your lobster tail meat. Now, lobster tail shells may seem hard, but they're actually pretty easy to cut through if you have a long, sharp, strong knife. Just one simple motion down the middle. Go ahead and remove the lobster meat from the shell. Doesn't have to stay intact. Try not to leave any meat at all in the shell, because anything you leave in the shell will be going to waste. Go ahead and cut your lobster meat into bite-sized chunks. This will also give you a chance to catch any shell pieces that might have stayed in with the meat. Once the red peppers are cool enough to handle, peel the skin off of the red pepper halves. And collect the flesh separately from the skin. If you can't get all the skin off a piece, that's okay. You'll get a little bit of a texture difference when you eat the skin, and you might get a little bit of bitterness from the blackening. At this point, we're going to puree the roasted red peppers, the shallot, and the garlic cloves. There's lots of ways to do this, like pressing it through a sieve or using a blender. My blender has an automatic puree setting, so that's what I'm going to use. Add the roasted red peppers to your blender. Add your shallot, and add your cloves of garlic. Add the lid and puree. Go ahead and leave your puree to the side. We are going to add it later. Go ahead and add 30 grams of butter to a frying pan. I think I forgot to include that in the ingredients at the beginning of this video, but I'll make sure to add it to the list of on-screen ingredients. Go ahead and melt the butter over medium or medium-high heat. Once the butter is completely melted, give it a quick swirl to coat the bottom of the pan. And turn the heat down to medium-low. Add your cream. Salt. Pepper. Basil, dill, oregano, and the bay leaf. Mix it all together. Stir it occasionally until it comes to a low boil. At this point, the smell is going to be incredible. Once the herb and cream sauce has come to a low boil and you've got this incredible smell that makes you want to dive in right away, it's time to step it up a notch by adding your puree. Mix your puree into the cream and herbs, or vice versa, however you want to think about it. Once it's fully mixed together, stir occasionally until it comes to a low boil. Alright, once the sauce has hit a low boil, which will look different because of the puree, you probably won't see a constant bubbling on the surface like you will in a thinner sauce, but just before I started talking and cut to this shot, I stirred it and there was some bubbles. So as soon as you see any bubbles at all, you've got a low boil. Once the sauce hits that point, go ahead and add your lobster meat into the sauce. Mix it in. And simmer for 1 to 2 minutes, stirring occasionally. I generally find that this recipe makes 3 servings, though of course that does depend on the serving size of whatever you're serving it over. Do remember to remove the bay leaf before consuming. Today I'm serving my roasted red pepper cream sauce with lobster over farfalle pasta with a salad made of romaine heart and Bubba's creamy garlic dressing. And there you have it, my roasted red pepper cream sauce with lobster. I hope you enjoyed as much as I do. If you enjoyed this, you can click up here to subscribe, and down here is something that the algorithmic overlords at YouTube think that you'll enjoy from my channel. If it catches your fancy, go ahead and click on it, and I'll see you next time.